You know, Wilson, New York is pretty much my second home, since this is where I keep my hatteras and run my Lake Ontario charters, and the people here have become very good friends. I tell you, man, we really had a good fight on that one. I mean, really good.
Off some line?
Yeah, we did it. Almost 27, huh?
Nice fish. That's our big fish of the day here so far.
Well, yeah, it's a little early yet, though. Want to weigh these other two in here too, Matt?
It's nice to see fish that size.
Yeah, fishing been pretty good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been real good out there.
Good. That's great. For the best information on what's happening in the lake, it's best to ask the local tackle dealer. And in this case, it's Paul and Dave Jackson of Wilson Bait and Tackle. It's a small town, and this place has become pretty much the meeting place where everyone comes to gather and exchange fishing stories. When summer winds down, the last fishing derby ends, and fishermen start to haul their boats home. But for me, this means just one thing: brown trout fishing. Each fall, without fail, the leaves on the trees start to change color and create a most spectacular arena of color and brilliance. But soon after that, the outdoor world comes very bleak and dismal. The winds start to howl out of the north, and the Great Lakes show their power and unkindly spirit. But this is the time that Lake Ontario shows some of her fantastic brown trout fishing. As the temperature on the lake starts to fall, the nomadic brown trout school up at the mouths of the streams where they were stocked and get ready for their annual spawning run. The browns especially love the heavily rocked areas of Wilson, New York, and each fall, fishermen in the know spend the last days nature has given them to battle these mighty browns. Tights down on his reel. The brown trout is a very aggressive fighter, and once you experience one on rod and reel, you'll never forget it. Get him, see him jumping. Coloration of a brown trout, especially in the fall mating colors, is like no other freshwater species. Got him in the mouth. Good boy. There he is over here, Billy the fish.
It's just running. You missed the one I had last time. It jumped 5 times.
Where's the fish? There are really only 2 proven methods used to catch these browns, depending on your preference, and they are completely different but can be used together. The first is to use salmon or trout eggs on a small hook used with a slip sinker above it to keep the bait on the bottom. You also should use a marshmallow on the very end of the hook, and for a reason. It not only keeps the bait floating off the bottom, but it also is used to hide the tip of the hook. The second way is to cast a small spoon into the surf. The most productive spoons are little Cleos, and they work well because the way they're designed, they will cast into the wind and can be cast long distances. Some of the best colors are silver and green, silver and chartreuse, and we also did really well with glow and blue. The glow colors work well because of the murky water. They come in different weights and sizes. This method works really well because you can use 2 rods at one time. Cast out the rod using the spawn, and while it's sitting off the bottom, you can be casting the spoon. But be sure to watch that other rod, because there are some 15 to 20 pound browns out there just waiting to grab an unwatched angler's rod.
How far are they hooking them?
Because they are so plentiful here, it's impossible not to snag one of these browns every once in a while. But by law, they must be released, and this law is strictly enforced.
Tell them that's good.
Use a 6 to 7 foot light action rod for the spawn rig. And if you want to really be able to cast a long way and want a real thrill, a 10 to 12 foot noodle rod is just what you want to try. It gives you the distance and really puts a battle into the rod. There's one hang-up though in fishing for these browns off the shore at Wilson. If the winds are calm or offshore, stay at home. The rougher the weather and the rougher the seas, the better the browns like it. In fact, if it is calm, you'll probably not even see a brown trout rise.
The outdoor world of castaway coolers. If you have a question about something you've seen on today's show or have any ideas for future shows, contact Castaway Coolers at 725 Broadway, Bedford, Ohio 44146.